Vice President Sara Duterte above the law nga ba? Or so she thinks? Nabalitaan po natin na hindi sumipot si Sara Duterte doon sa supposedly sa pinang inihain sa kanya ng NBI. At napag-alaman din natin na may mga kondisyonis na naman itong si Sara Duterte. At isang nakakatawang kondisyon doon ay dapat bigyan siya ng advance questionnaire. Ano ba to? Bakit kailangan bigyan siya ng kopya ng mga itatanong sa kanya? Ibig bang sabihin kung hindi niya magustuhan yung mga tanong, hindi siya sisipot? O hindi ba nagpapatunay lamang na ang tingin ni Sara Duterte sa sarili niya is she is above the law? Akala niya pagkagaling-galing niyang abogada at lahat ng mga abogado sa paligid niya, kahit yung mga senior na mga abogado, yung mga baguhan, mga abogado sa House of Representatives, sa NBI, sa DOJ, ang tingin niya sa mga abogadong yan ay mas mababa sa kanya. Bakit kaya gano'n na lang kataas ang tingin ni Sara Duterte sa sarili niya? Meron po akong gustong i-share sa inyong isang video na ginawa ko sa isang YouTube channel ko, yung Tito Manny TV. It is an interesting read from a certain Justin Manila. Time and again po kasi nakakabasa ako ng mga post galing sa mga netizens na talagang very interesting read. Gusto kong i-share sa inyo yung video na yon, pakinggan niyo at kayo na po ang humusga. Is Sara Duterte really above the law? Let's watch this. Welcome back to my channel. Marami na po ang nagbigay ng kanilang opinyon, kuro-kuro, reaksyon tungkol sa meltdown ni Vice President Sara Duterte kung saan minura niya at binantaan ng buhay ng ating Presidenteng Bongbong Marcos. At isa po sa maraming comment at reaksyon ng taong bayan, ano ba ang tingin ni Sara sa sarili niya? Is she above the law? Na lahat pwede niyang gawin, lahat pwede niyang sabihin nang hindi siya pupunahin ng taong bayan at ng gobyerno? Ngayon na pinadalan siya ng sabina ng NBI para sagutin ang kanyang pagbabanta, ay marami na po siyang kakaharapin na kaso. At si Larry Gadon ay nag-file ng disbarment at kung ano pa ang magiging kahihinatnan ng investigasyon ng NBI sa pagbabanta ni Sara Duterte. Meron po akong isang nabasang post galing sa isang Justin Manila from Twitter. It is an interesting article na sinulat ni Justin at gusto kong i-share sa inyong lahat. It goes like this. Vice President Sara Duterte is not above the law after all. A summary of all issues and legal complaints filed against the Vice President. All the actions and words of the Vice President say a lot about her, but one good summary would be she thinks she is above the law, as if the world would bow down and give her what she wants when she wants it. Maybe in Davao City, maybe during the reign of her father, but not now, and hopefully never again. I think the whole idea of accountability is foreign to the Dutertes. This is why I think that the people of Davao City should really consider a different last name as their leaders. Nograles, perhaps? The Nograles siblings are promising, if you ask me. Please remember that all these are happening just because of the refusal of Vice President to answer questions. Questions that would have been easy to answer if she is not hiding anything. Before I get carried away with all my sentiments, here is a quick summary of all issues and legal complaints filed against Vice President. Number 1, disbarment cases. Yesterday, Larry Gadon submitted his disbarment complaint against the Vice President, and his argument was simple. He was disbarred for his conduct that was unbecoming of a lawyer. What the Vice President did was way worse. She threatened the lives of the President of the Republic, his wife, and the Speaker. The Supreme Court also said that they are in receipt of an anonymous letter seeking the disbarment of the Vice President over her remarks saying that she will exhume the body of the late President Marcos Sr. from the libingan ng mga bayani and throw the late dictator's remains in the West Philippine Sea. But according to her press conference, she knows about other disbarment cases, including the infamous punching of the sheriff incident. Number 2, direct assault, disobedience to authority, and grave coercion. It was clear on the videos that the Vice President physically obstructed the transfer of Attorney Zuleika Lopez and her disrespect to the policemen. More often than not, I find the fact that she is a lawyer irrelevant simply because she is not speaking and acting like one. Imagine a lawyer who would physically obstruct and verbally abuse policemen when the order of transfer was clear. I agree with the statement of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Any lawyer who wishes to assist an individual who is held in contempt or ordered detained by the Committee of Congress is presumed to know the legal remedies available to that individual and is encouraged to immediately take legal action to protect the rights of the said individual. I am not a lawyer, but I don't think the legal remedy is to not physically obstruct transfer, defy the rules of a known government institution, and have a midnight meltdown, which includes the death threat of the Vice President. Number 3, NBI issued a subpoena to shed light on the investigation for alleged grave threats and possible violation of Republic Act No. 11479 or the Anti-Terrorism Act. In her famous midnight meltdown, the Vice President threatened the lives of the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker of the House, explicitly said that she is serious. No joke. I agree with the officials of the Department of Justice. She will be the main beneficiary should anything happen to the President. So yes, this must be taken seriously. I also heard DOJ officials correct Senator Bato de la Rosa saying there is no such thing as conditional threat. Oh, what a disgrace. And it is not the first time I heard a connection between a hired assassin and Vice President Sara Duterte, as it is part of the affidavit submitted to the ICC years ago. So, forgive us for not taking this light. The whole idea of having Sara Duterte replacing PBBM as president is scary enough. Number 4, House Blue Ribbon Committee, possible technical malversation, graft, or plunder. When special disbursing officers surfaced in the House Blue Ribbon Committee, they found out that the SDOs do not have any idea as per the utilization of the confidential funds. Why? Because as per the instructions of the Vice President, after the withdrawal of money from Land Bank, they give it to the assigned security officer, which is not allowed as per the Joint Memorandum Circular. No explanation given by the Vice President regarding the Youth Leadership Seminar funds liquidated by the certifications from military officers. The House Blue Ribbon discovered that the military officer did not use a single cent of the DepEd and or OVP confidential funds for the conduct of the seminar. And number 5, possible impeachment case. At first, I am convinced that an impeachment case was not necessary. But now, after all the meltdown and disregard to the laws, rules, policies, I think now, more than ever, there is really a need to impeach Vice President Sara Duterte as she is a danger to our peace. End of post. Sa tingin ninyo, sang-ayon ba kayo sa mga isinulat ni Justin Manila? I am. Ayan, ano sa tingin ninyo? Hindi kaya natatakot lang si Sara Duterte dahil alam niya that the end is near for her career? Ano po sa tingin ninyo? Comment lang po down below at magbabalik ang usapang Tito Manny. Diyos ti Agnina.